Hi here, today we'll see what happens when the egg is not fertilized. In last class we have seen if the egg is fertilized, what are the changes that happens in the uterus we have seen. Okay, if the egg is not fertilized, if suppose, okay, if the egg is not fertilized, what happened? Every month this uterus will prepare itself with a rich supply of blood capillaries for nourishing the embryo, right? So if the embryo is not formed, fertilization is not formed, then what happened to that line nourishing blood supply? Okay, if the egg is not fertilized, the thick and nourishing lining of the uterus breaks and comes out through vagina as a blood and mucus. Okay, so it is no longer needed, right? So it will breaks down and it comes out of the body through the vagina as a blood and mucus. Okay, this cycle takes place roughly every month. That is what we call as menstruation cycle. Okay, right? Menstruation, it usually lasts for about 2 to 8 days. Okay, next topic is very important: reproductive health. Reproductive health means it is a condition. Okay, it is a condition where physically, mentally and socially fit to lead a healthy reproductive life. Okay, it is state of the people. Okay, it is a state of the people. That means it is state of the physical, mental and social fitness to lead a healthy reproductive life. So what is this reproductive health provides to this male and female? Okay, so it teaches us that how to control the fertilization. Okay, the fertility control methods, how to control the fertilization of eggs. Okay, because once it fertilizes, then only a baby will form, right? So it teaches us what are the methods available for the fertility control and awareness about how to limit their family size. It will teach us about how to limit their family size. In the olden days, we can hear that they used to have 9 kids or 9, 10, 15 kids like that. Nowadays it's only 1 or 2 in a family, right? So it teaches us about how to limit their family size and protection from the infection and sexually transmitted diseases. What are the diseases which are transmitted through sex? Okay, so this reproductive health provides all this kind of information. Okay, so at what age will have a sexual act? Okay, if we become adult, then we can have that sexual act. Okay, but usually in the olden days, in once the kids are attain this 18 ages, that is 13, 14, 15, like they'll get married. Okay, why it is stopped and now it has given a rule to get married only by when they are adults, right? Only after 21 years only you have to get married. Okay, right? So these are the act given by the government. Why it is not advisable to have sexual act in the teenage, right? Sexual act in teenage is extremely harmful due to the incomplete development of the body. You know that the general process of growth is very vigorous at the childhood, and when you attain this teenage, it gradually slows down. Okay, this growth is not stopped suddenly. Okay, it's gradually slows down, and this reproductive parts start growing, right? Secondary sexual character start growing, right? But the general process growth is still there. Okay, so still they didn't fully develop. Okay, incomplete development of the body. Okay, they are still growing and they are not fully developed. Okay, the parts are not fully developed, so they have only incomplete development of the body and the possibility of catching sexually transmitted disease. We call it as STDs. Okay, and then if they are teenage, the teenage wife and husband cannot bring up their child as they themselves are kid, right? Neither they could pursue studies nor they can have careers. Okay, once they got married and they are, if they got baby, means they are not able to pursue their studies further, right? Nor they have careers. Okay, at that college. So a small age girl is not physically mature to bear a fetus also. Okay, a very young to bear a baby, right? So these are the harmful effects if the teenage children will have the sexual act. Okay, next, what we have studied learn about this possibility of catching the sexually transmitted disease. Usually, what are the possible diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases we can classify into two based on the type of infection: bacterial disease and viral disease. Okay, some of the bacterial diseases are gonorrhea and syphilis. Okay, and the viral diseases, you know, that popular, very famous harmful diseases, AIDS and warts. Okay, HIV virus we would have learned. Okay, AIDS and warts is the viral disease, and gonorrhea and syphilis is the bacterial disease. Okay, next. So we have learned about this reproductive health, how to control the fertilization, how to control the family size, everything, right? So how to control this? How to control this? So that we are going to learn now. So you know that population is increasing tremendously, increasing, right? Once it is increasing, or it is on the increasing side, and also we are having a limited source, right? Available source. Okay, so once it is increasing, our standard of life will get deteriorated, right? Everyone will not get the good quality of life, right? So we need to control the population has to be controlled, right? How the population can be controlled? The population can be controlled only by the birth control. Only if the birth is controlled, the population is the stability of the population is controlled by the birth rate and death rate, right? So if the population keep on increasing, then it will there is no space, even we will not have any space also, right? So it has to be controlled, right? So this birth control means that we have to birth control or family planning, we can say like that, family planning or birth control, then only we can control the population, right? How will you control that? Okay, that is using a contraception. Okay, the contraception, it is an artificial method or technique used to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Okay, they get married, if they want child means, okay, that is required, needed for the population stability, right? One or two, that is more than enough. Okay, nowadays. Okay, if it is 3 and 4 means that are all unwanted pregnancy. How to prevent that pregnancy? Okay, so it is an artificial method or technique used to prevent unwanted pregnancy. These methods are used to prevent only the unwanted pregnancy, not the pregnancy itself. Okay, only the unwanted pregnancy. If you don't, already you are having 2 child, so you don't want the third one means, we can go for the contraceptive methods. Okay, how to control that, how to prevent that unwanted pregnancy. Okay, so we are having this methods of birth control, that is population control, or we can say family planning or birth control. Okay, so we have 3 methods usually: barrier method, hormonal method and surgical method. Okay, barrier, the name itself some barrier, we have put some barrier inside that, so it will not pass, it will not meet. Okay, once the fertilization of egg and sperm takes place, then only the embryo will grow, right? The baby will grow. Okay, so if you put a barrier, if we stop the meeting of this sperm and ovum, then that is called barrier method. Okay, next method is the hormonal method. You know, this ovary will produce this ovum every month. Okay, if they stop, it is a it produces the progesterone, progesterone, like that, right? So if that is a hormonal, it is a gland which produces these hormones. Okay, if you are supplying some other hormones, right, to stop the production. Okay, so that is a hormonal method, we can stop the production of these things. Okay, so that is a hormonal method. Another method is a surgical method, permanent. This is a long term solution. This is a long term solution. So these two are only short terms, and this is your long term solution. Once you are done, that's all. Okay, so that can be done in male as well as in the female also. Okay, so barrier method, we can go for this condom, diaphragm, copper T loop, and hormonal method will go for the oral contraceptive pills. Okay, pills we can take it. Okay, to these pills are hormonal pills. Okay, and surgical method in the male we will call as a vasectomy, and female we will call next tubectomy. Okay, so we'll see in detail all this here. Okay, so by this contraception we can prevent the unwanted pregnancy as well as we can prevent the sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so first method is the barrier method. Barrier method will use, first one is condom. Okay, condom is it is just like a rubber sheet. Okay, it is just like a rubber sheet worn over the penis to stop sperm entering the vagina. Okay, we'll cover this penis with this rubber sheet. Okay, so it stops the sperm from entering the vagina. Okay, so once it is stopped, nothing will be transmitted, right? So it prevents STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, and has no side effects. Okay, it does not have any side effect. It will just own during the intercourse, and once it is removed, there is no side effects. Okay, so and it prevents sexually transmitted disease also. Okay, likewise diaphragm. Okay, it is used in the used by the male, and this diaphragm is used by the female. Okay, rubber cup. It is a rubber cup that is placed in the vagina over the cervix. This is also will prevent the STDs, and it has no side effects. Okay, next one is copper T or loop. Okay, it is placed in the uterus by doctor. Okay, it is placed in the uterus by the doctor. It can cause side effects. Why? Because due to the irritation of the uterus, something is placed inside the uterus, that to copper means how so for some people it may irritate and it can cause side effect. Okay, since it is placed inside the uterus, it is called this copper T and loop, we call it as intrauterine contraceptive device. Okay, IUCD we can call it as IUCD, intrauterine contraceptive device. Okay, because it is placed inside the uterus. Okay, this will be fallopian tube, and this is your uterus, this is cervix. Okay, so this copper T, it is T-shaped like. Okay, this is inserted in the uterus. Okay, this T-shaped like, hence it this material is made up of copper and it is T-shaped, hence it got the name copper T. Okay, so once the sperm entered, it will be stopped here by the copper T. So this is one of the barrier method. Okay, since it is placed inside the uterus, it may cause irritation. Okay, next one is that's all with the barrier method. Next one is a hormonal method. Hormonal method will take the oral contraceptive pills. Okay, as a tablet we will take that. Okay, so it contains, what does that pills contain? It contains hormones which prevents the release of ovum. Okay, which prevents the release of ovum, so that the fertilization cannot occur. Okay, what happens, because we are taking a hormone, right? So it disturbs the hormonal balance of the body, right? It can cause side effects also. Okay, every month the ovary will produce one ova, right? So if it is stopped artificially, then there will be some imbalance, right? Imbalance will have taken place, right? So it disturbs the hormonal balance of the body, and it can cause the side effects also. Okay, next, a surgical method. Surgical method for male it is vasectomy, and for female it is tubectomy. Okay, vasectomy means simple, a small portion of the vas, you only from the scrotum, the sperm will be transferred through the vas deferens, right? So the sperm is transferred through the vas deferens. If there is a block in the passage through the vas deferens, then it will not reach that. It will not reach the vagina through the penis, right? A small portion of the vas deferens is cut and tied properly. Okay, they will cut the path. It is a tube-like structure, right? Vas deferens. It will be cut and tied properly. Hence, the sperm transfer will be blocked. Okay, no sperm will enter this vagina. Okay, here itself they will block the sperm. Okay, next, In tubectomy, it is done in female. A small, where does this fertilization takes place? This fallopian tube only. Okay, fallopian, the part of the inside the fallopian tube will be the fertilization takes place, that the ova and sperm will meet, right? Okay, so small portion of the fallopian tube is cut and tied properly. Hence, it prevents the meeting of egg from the sperm. Therefore, fertilization will not take place. Okay, this is a long-term solution for this controlling the fertilization. Okay, control the unwanted pregnancy also. Okay, if it has to be done properly, because during the surgical itself they will cause some infection. Okay, so it has to be cut properly and tied properly. Okay, so it prevents the meeting of egg from the sperm and fertilization. Okay, that's all with the contraceptive methods. We can say what are the methods of contraception, or we can call it as method of birth control or population control, whatever it may be. The 3 methods: barrier method, hormonal method and surgical method. Okay, thank you.